Hello, sharpshooters. This is Olivier. Well, it's about 4 a.m. in the morning, and I've been looking through some basically the positions that take large firms like Goldman Sachs, Chase Manhattan, Credit Suisse, all the usual suspects, and they are called large speculators. Okay, now we are very lucky that in America, being a free market, we have data, and this is an amazing thing that's happened in the last few years. This used to cost thousands of dollars to banks and things like that. We have now data where large speculators, being the green line here, the banks, Goldman Sachs, all these people, what we call smart money. The commercials are basically the people who do the opposite. They're the hedgers. So they do that for instance, a wheat farmer might hedge his field. So usually that will go in the opposite way. But what's interesting to see is what the large speculators are doing. Okay, now you can get this data basically free now. I used to subscribe. It was well worth $1,000 a year because okay, it's 1 week late. It's collected on Fridays. It's printed on Fridays, but it's actually last Tuesdays. But as I always say, when somebody like Warren Buffett takes $1 billion position, he's not going to put a tight stop on it, and he thinks more long term. So this is not out of date. You need some patience, which is a word that few understand these days in trading. You need patience. You can get drawdowns. Warren Buffett gets drawdowns up to 55%. And he's not doing that badly. But what I want to show you here is kind of a freebie for the beginning of the year. And, it's got nothing to do with it's an idea. Now you can see here that basically this is euro because, I basically trade euro. Now you can look at all sorts of things here. But euro is the most interesting for me because it's the most liquid market in the world and the most difficult to manipulate. Okay, so I like that. That works well on technicals. It works well on my robots that like markets that you can use math on, basically. Other markets have for instance, some New Zealand dollar, etc. You could drive a Humvee through the spread, so it's 3 o'clock they will go and get your stops, etc., etc. So I try and stay away from that. Now, what's interesting about this graph here? Let's go quickly. You can see that they still have a pretty big short position, the speculators, on the euro. Okay, which means they're very bullish on the dollar. Okay, keep that in mind when you're seeing it go up at the end of the year for some reason. And the other theory is so basically, they're still betting very largely that the dollar is going to go up. And we also call that the carry trade because when you hold shorts, euro USD shorts, which means you're long on the dollar, bullish on the dollar, you are getting some good swaps and interest. Whereas if you hold euro dollar longs, you are getting negative swaps. You're losing money. It's easy to see. You can look at my signal. Longs will lose money and swaps will eventually. Well, I won't tell you what happens because that's my secret. So I'm revealing too much. But what's interesting here also is that speculators, okay, which we call dumb, that's you and me basically, because I'm still a speculator. I'm not big enough to be Warren Buffett. What we call dumb money. Usually you want to do the opposite of what they do. And what they've done is basically they're up. So they're basically bullish on the dollar, okay? But there's been this kind of big drop last week, which is odd, in contracts, 10,000 contracts. So maybe they were taking positions or something like that. But that's an odd situation. But still, the retailers are long euro, so they're probably wrong. And the big firms, Goldman Sachs, being the Rolls Royce of all firms, etc., they know what they're doing. They rarely lose, and they are basically saying this is going to be a good year for the dollar. And the same will hold. I won't put up the pound, but the pound has reached zero, and it's really, you know, it looks like the year of the pound. So I haven't touched the pound since Brexit because I couldn't figure out what was going on every day, different things. It drive me crazy. But I think this is a good time to invest in the pound. Now, you may say it's already gone up, but you can always catch a wave. So that's another freebie from me. But I also want to show you here where it's much clearer. Okay, this is what's happened this week. And this could be a precursor for the rest of the year. But you see on euro dollar, they have institutions, large institutions, big speculators, have minus 72,000 contract on the euro dollar. So that's going to have to be covered soon, one day. I mean, they could hold it 2 years. As I said, market can stay irrational for a long time, and you can go broke holding a position waiting for these guys to cover. But usually, it's 1 week lag. I mean, you want to see the movement, and you see the movement every week. And here they've increased, or they've decreased, which means they've gone even more bullish by 7,000 contracts, which is quite big when you consider. Look at the others, like the USD index. The volumes are much less. That's the Mexican pesos, so it's a bit different. The volumes are much less. And on this graph, you can see much clearer what's going on. The green is the speculators, the big speculators, the big banks. So they have been short for a while, which means they've been bullish on the dollar for a while, which means they've been right. They've been making some good money. And here are the net commercial positions, but basically this is the net commercial positions. They don't break it down in retail, but it's basically what retail's doing, the opposite way around. So retail's been losing money by buying euro, and big firms have been making money by holding on to their euro shorts, even when they do their shenanigans, like in the last 2 days, which is kind of, you need patience and you need guts to hold on to a short position, because they will try and get every stop they can and try and take you out of that position. That's part of the game. So, people can say, oh, he's holding on positions for a year and he's stupid and all this, but it's by holding on and by being patient, by following what the big guys are doing, that you're going to make money in the end. So if you have the money, if you have the margin, which I always have a 10,000 margin or so because I do some hedging, then you are correct. So basically, the takedown here, beginning of the year, okay, look how weak the euro is. So this has to go up. So you want to buy these currencies and you want to sell these, okay? So take it as you want, but this is a freebie, and I've made a lot of money to people who have followed me. And you can also see some graphics. Let me see if I can show you one. This is my super product that you can buy from me, that I try, this is how I trade. You can see what's happening here because I've put my BBSO. Okay, this is BBSO, and I will optimize it to show you that it is working. It's on the optimization right now. What happens is it optimizes a lot of things. I'm not going to get into it. I have 200 videos that will explain things very clearly to you. But you can see here very clearly, and I also have overlaid some patterns that I like. Not a lot of people are following harmonics now. Good, because I'm making money off it. But you had here a bullish bat, okay, which went very well. You see the X buy point, okay. Started going, then they got your stops, as usual, and then boom, it went all the way up. It was a very surprising move up on the euro, okay. But now we're reaching a point where basically it's time. Now we have a bearish shark, okay. Sorry about the mixture of the writing. That's the programmer. Um, Now we have a bearish shot. I don't think it'll reach there, but my program is already starting to take some shorts on the euro. So we can expect it to go back down here, and that's a lot of money. As you can see here, my trend detector is saying we're having a ranging market, which is perfect. No, this is a ranging market because there's very little volatility. We have crossed the zero line here on the Renko, which is also a great buying indication, and it turns blue here. For those who think my programs are very complicated, blue you buy, red you sell. Okay, this comes with my package, my entire package, that is going up in price now because it's getting more and more precise. Or you can go the cheap way if you manage to get in, because I don't know if I'm going to take a lot more subscriptions if you get in my signal, okay? Because subscriptions, I mean, $35, you know, waiting 30 days to get the money and getting all sorts of mail about it, it's a bit complicated. So, but, you know, made 271% last year. So I try and keep the draw down up above 30%, up above 30%, to try and discourage subscriptions, because it's basically a show for me. It's a small account, and I do it my way, and if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. But if you like it, come in whenever you can, because whenever that drawdown goes below 30% is the time to come in, okay? Now, a lot of people are using copy trading, and I think that's great. I use copy trading. I copy from MT5 onto MT4 because my product works better on MT5, but MT4 is still the, you know, it's much better to have one general account or many small ones, but, you know, I like to concentrate a lot of things. Anyway, here we go, 12 minutes. I hope this helped you. I'm not going to give many things away, but the takeaway is short the dollar. If you can, be patient. Don't write to me every day. Remember, investors that think very short term don't have a huge horizon. You need to be patient with positions. You need to be able to take drawdowns. You need to have guts. You need to be a man, whatever, woman, whatever. You need to have guts, okay? I mean, this is a highly leveraged, 500%. And also the other takeaway is probably make an investment in the pound and keep it. That's for the year to come. But this is, obviously this can change, because once this dollar goes down here, we're going to do something else. So anyway, 13 minutes. Here we go. Goodbye.